Well, this is going to be a very interesting matchup. Varus, not somebody that we see terribly often these days, but it's really going to come down to the harass game, I feel, particularly from the side of Ambition, as long as he can.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Solo King, a 1v1 tournament here broadcast to you on Azubu TV, featuring, in this matchup, Wisdom versus Ambition. The winner of this best of 3 will advance to the playoff bracket of the Solo King to face players like Faker, EasyHoon, and a host of other top Korean pros who have already advanced. Of course, they will have to face off against each other for the opportunity to get in there. My name is Rapid, with me is Achilleos, and getting into our first game in this best of 3, Wisdom versus Ambition. Now, both of these players play junglers competitively, but we get a chance to see how their AD carry game is as Varus faces off against Wisdom's Ezreal, who's already hit one Mystic shot, so game already won.
Yep, that's it. Might as well go ahead and just disconnect.
Yeah, we didn't mention the win condition: land one skill shot to win the game. But, in all seriousness, the way that you win the game is either by killing the enemy champion, killing the enemy turret, or killing 100 of the enemy's minions. Or minor caveat with that is that you actually have to have a 10 CS advantage over your opponent once you hit that 100 CS mark. And so if it's super close, then we're going to see a really tense situation develop, because you do have to have that 10 CS advantage over your opponent. So talking about the starts here, Doran's Blades for both AD carries and teleports, but with opposite summoner spells, and this is actually a big summoner spell advantage here for Ambition, taking the barrier versus Ignite. Now, usually you want to get greedy and take the summoner heal because it gives you both a health and a move speed buff, but it doesn't give you quite as much of a shield as, quite as much effective HP as barrier does. And barrier is great versus Ignite because not only does it stop the Ignite damage, it gives you more overall HP than taking heal.
Sorry, I'm just experiencing a little technical difficulty working on getting my way back in here.
Alright, well hopefully everything works out there. As far as this 1v1's working out, already we're seeing a lot of Hail of Arrows spam, and I love going for Hail of Arrows over Piercing Arrow, because while it may seem cool to charge up your Piercing Arrow, and when it lands it's going to deal a lot of damage, as far as reliable damage is concerned, much better to go with Hail of Arrows, because it allows you to still AoE down the wave, but also hit your damage a little bit more often. And so as far as the pressure is concerned, first Ambition with area of effect spells that damage minions is going to be able to push the wave maybe a little bit faster. And for Wisdom, he should actually try to stay away from the creep wave so that when Hail of Arrows comes out, it doesn't actually hit both him and the creeps and allow Ambition to simultaneously put on Harass and shove the wave. But oh, now, especially now that level 3 is hit for both champions, this is where you're going to see those stacks of Blight stack up onto Wisdom, and then if they get popped by Hail of Arrows, that is going to be a lot of extra bonus damage.
Yeah, you can pop with the Hail of Arrows and also with the Piercing Arrow. Either one. Gonna start ripping through Wisdom if he doesn't play carefully.
Oh, Wisdom hitting a couple of nice trick shots off the arcane shifts through the minion wave, so getting a lot of nice damage down there, and already first health potions being used by both AD carries.
But Wisdom being taken a little bit low. He's gonna have to play carefully here. So you can see 20 CS to 20 CS. Wisdom maybe opting to go ahead and back for the first time here. Looks like, yeah, it is going to go through. Ambition gonna follow suit and go back. We'll have to see what these guys opt to pick up. Looks like a double Doran start coming out from both of these players. Wisdom picking up mana pots, and Ambition as well. Actually, we have a perfectly mirrored itemization going on.
Yeah, and you can see that's directly reflected in the CS. There's only a 2 CS difference, so you're probably going to expect to see very similar items between both AD carries. And that means it's going to be primarily just based on the champion matchup to determine who wins these games, rather than alternating item builds, given that they are playing very similar style champions. Big difference between the two being that Ambition's poke damage from Piercing Arrow actually goes through the minions, whereas most of Wisdom's does not, unless you're talking about his ultimate.
Yeah, big difference indeed. Wow, as you can see, 3 of those stacks
Whoa,
coming
Wisdom,
out. Wisdom
might be in a little bit of trouble. No flash for Ambition. We'll still have to watch out for those arrows.
Yeah, piercing arrow does not land, but wow, that is Wisdom just really starting to do work. As you can see, consuming those blight stacks with the hail of arrows, just ripping right through Wisdom's HP, taking him excruciatingly low. Gotta play a bit more carefully here. You can see Wisdom just chugging his potions. Ambition still holding on to a few of his.
Oh, Wisdom very, very low. And this is where Flash is such a good skill to have. For Ambition, keep in mind, he does have Ignite as his summoner spell. No heal, no barrier. He's looking to play aggressively and now in a defensive situation. Those summoners aren't going to help him.
Yeah, not at all. Even if he can get the damage in onto Ambition to maybe get lethal, he's got to worry about that barrier, like you said.
Oh my goodness, Ambition! Almost with a kill there off the piercing arrow, but using the last vestiges of his mana, Wisdom manages to Arcane Shift just barely in time to the side. Great dodge by Ambition. He's gonna have to take the long, slow walk back into lane.
Yeah, this is gonna give time for Ambition to really, get himself back up. He's 50 CS to Wisdom's 42, so a nice little lead. He's gonna go ahead back, as we can see. Triple Dorans now coming in, potions as well, and he will begin the walk back. Wisdom's gonna make it back a little bit sooner than Ambition. That'll help him get a few CS up. For the most part, we should see Ambition maintaining a bit of a lead in this matchup. Now it's really just going to be a matter of if he's able to maintain that and get to that 100 CS mark. Already just about halfway there, but with the amount of aggression that we've been seeing coming out from Ambition, I'm not sure if this is going to come down to a CS match.
Oh, Arcane Shift forward, True Shot Barrage misses. Wow. That means that Wisdom actually might die here. We've got the Chains of Corruption coming out. There's the barrier, and Ambition just walking forward through the creep wave to pick up the kill on a Wisdom.
Yeah, like I said, it was going to come down to the elusiveness for Wisdom, not able to find it. Really aggressive play forward, the True Shot Barrage, an enormous whiff coming out, and as you can see, just the chains just ripping right through him, locking him down. Nothing he can do. That's game 1 of the finals, going over to Ambition. 1-0 over Wisdom.